I kind of oofed up. So, this one what if Deku was the reincarnation of Boo, or basically just like Oob, but I kind of oofed up on this one. Because Oob doesn't have any interesting abilities other than having the ability to shoot ki blasts or turn people into chocolate, which to me isn't really that interesting. So I'm going to have to push that one back until I can actually think of something even better. Now, I kind of failed on that one, and just because I failed so hard on that one, basically that one topic, I'm going to be doing something new from basically from now on the channel. I will be starting one what if, and I will be finishing it, or basically doing that one what if till completion. Meaning that I'm only going to do one certain what if till it's done. So, that one, what if Deku had basically, was the reincarnation of Kid Buu? I have to push that one back because, I don't really understand Oob's abilities. He has the ability to shoot ki. He's basically like Goku but without the Super Saiyan transformation, and it's not really that interesting, so I have to read more into Oob before I do that one. But I'm going to be doing this series until completion, and this series is what if Deku had the abilities of Shenron, or basically the ability to grant any wish. Well, not any wish, but basically the ability to grant wishes. I'm pretty sure someone asked me to do what if Deku had the Dragon Ball abilities, which the Dragon Ball is basically Shenron, which I was like, what the fuck? Whatever, bro. So I basically ignored that one for a while, but I was like, whatever, might as well do it. But yeah, this is what if Deku had Shenron's abilities. Now I'll be continuing this one until it's finished, so you guys don't have to worry about me stopping it like after the first part. Now, when Deku's born, there is no differences. They see him as a normal boy, but he does have, basically has scales all over his body, and a little bit of horns coming out at the top of his head. And when Deku gets older, the scales start to, even out, as his arms are basically his forearms. If you don't know, it's not literal forearms, it's just a term, forearms. They're covered in scales, and yeah. Now, then something weird happens. Inko, she was basically wishing that, because Hasashi left him because he's a bitch, Inko was wishing that, basically, that she had a sum of money, which Deku, he's like, your wish has been granted, as his eyes would glow, and a bunch of money would appear. She's like, what? Izuku, where'd you get this money? And Deku's like, you wished for it. I'm pretty sure how the Dragon Ball's abilities work. They don't pull stuff from other parts of the world, but it basically just creates something out of thin air. But anyway, now, she's like, did you steal this? And Deku's like, no. You wished for it, and I granted your wish. So Inko's like, as then she would basically bring Deku to the Quirk doctor, because he showed basically some type of teleportation quirk, which that's what she thinks. Now, she would be telling the doctor the instant, and he would basically be like, yo kid, I wish for $1 billion. Which Deku, he's like, your wish has been granted. His eyes would basically glow, and basically, I would say not a check. Yeah, I'm just gonna say like a suitcase, or a couple of suitcases will appear in front of him, and he would look through them. He's like, yeah, this is real money. And he's like, well, ma'am, your son, it's either that he's basically, he's granting someone's wish and pulling something from a different part of the world, or your son just has the ability to grant any wish with no drawbacks. As he's, grabbing the suitcase, and he says, well, I'm quitting this job. Thank you, kid, you just made my life a lot better, as he walks off. Deku's like, I did? And Inko's like, the ability to grant any wish? Nani? So, basically, she would do something like, she wishes for a large sum of money, basically all money from this one bank, to be in this location, which Deku does, and she's like, huh? And then she asks him to send it back, which Deku does. Now, Deku can do all this without drawbacks because he doesn't have Dragon Balls. He's not sealed with any of them. Now, the man would release this on the news that a kid has the ability to grant any wishes. So people, they would basically be coming far and wide to Japan. Which Deku, he's basically, treated like some type of object. Which Inko, she doesn't like that, so she's telling him to all go away. And there's a couple of people whose Deku's wish is granted, like someone who had a family member who had cancer, and they asked Deku to basically get rid of it for them, which Deku would basically snap his fingers and it's gone. So, yeah. Now, a few years later, Deku would be getting a visit from All Might, an injured All Might, or a Sir Night-Eye, actually. So, Sir Night-Eye would ask Deku if he could use his abilities, which Inko's like, a hero or not, my son's not an object, which Night-Eye's like, no, it's urgent. And he would say, All Might's been injured, and we need your son's help. And she would say, All Might? And then she'd be thinking, she says, Izuku, do you want to do this? And Deku's like, oh, yeah, All Might's my favorite hero. And if it makes him feel better, then yeah. And Inko says, alright, sweetie, as she takes him to All Might, and All Might makes his wish. Or he reluctantly makes his wish, but he still makes it nonetheless. Deku easily grants this wish, and All Might, he's basically brought to full strength, and he's like, no way. He actually has the ability to grant wishes. And All Might will be like, okay. As he'd be looking at Deku and he's like, All for One cannot and absolutely cannot get his hands on this kid's quirk. Which, it is a type, yeah, I'm just gonna say that it is a quirk. Deku isn't just some descendant of some dragon or some shit. It's an actual literal quirk. Now, it can, in fact, be stolen. But actually, I'm going to say it can. It's like a one-for-all and it literally cannot be stolen. So, he's been having his eye on, basically, Deku. And he's basically just had, yeah. Now, Deku, he can do other things like wish for quirks. Like, wish that someone had quirk. Or, if someone wished for a quirk, then Deku can easily give them a quirk. Deku's life has been, somewhat weird. Since people, they really didn't believe that he had the ability to grant people's wishes. Somewhat like Bakugo. He would be like, stop lying, Deku. And Deku's like, huh? Deku would still be granted the name Deku, because I think that his quirk is somewhat useless since it only gives him dragon scales and horns, which they're sadly mistaken. Now, Deku, his type of abilities work like he could just snap his fingers and wish that robots or entire things were gone. So his abilities are kind of weird. He can also basically, wish for, how do I say this? He can actually, I would say that he can wish for, I'm going to give you guys, I might end it off at 10 minutes, but do you guys think that Deku should be able to wish for that he had other quirks, or basically just give himself other quirks? Would it work like that? I mean, can the dragon grant his own wishes? That's the question. Now, you guys could just tell me that in the comments along with, your what-if suggestions. Now. Okay, sorry. Now, Deku, he is basically, it is like the last day of middle school. So, the teacher, he's been, kind of depressed since, I would say, his daughter got hit by a car, and she has sadly passed on. And he's heard the rumors that Deku can grant any wish, so he in his depressed state would visit Deku after school. Which he would say, young Midori, I heard that you can grant any wish. And Deku says, well, I don't know. It depends on the wish. And the man would say, do you think you can bring my little girl back to life? And Deku would be like, I've never tried to bring anyone back to life. And he would say, I would need a picture and her name. Which the man would give her a picture, and Deku would be like, as he says that your wish is granted, and the little girl would appear back into the dude's hands. Now Deku did in fact just take the girl from King Yama, because King Yama does exist in this one. So King Yama's like, what? Nani? The fuck? And Deku would hand the little girl off to the man, which the man's basically looking at her, and he's like, what? What? Nani? Nani? And Deku's like, don't worry about it, bruh. I don't need, basically, a thanks or anything, as long as it is to help you. But Deku says, you might want to keep an eye on her more often. You never know, I might not be able to bring someone back from the dead twice. And he would walk off. His teacher would be asking the girl questions, as she would say that yeah, she would answer all of his questions correctly, and he would know that it's her. So, yeah. Deku basically just brought a family back together, but let's not get into that one. Now, Deku is more of a kind of I give you a wish type of guy more than a combat type of hero. But if you guys decide on letting him give himself quirks, then Deku would probably be like one of the most powerful heroes to ever exist, even powerful than All Might. Since I'm pretty sure he can just wish for All Might to be non-existent, but for Deku to do that, you have to answer a simple question. Can Deku grant his own wishes? Which, if he can't, and if he can, then I'll have Deku have the ability to, like, snap things out of existence, or basically just or give himself quirks. But that's a question. Can Deku give himself quirks? Or other abilities like super strength, super speed, passive abilities like regeneration, or anything else? That is a question that you must answer for me. Now, Deku, he would return home. As Inko, she'd be looking at Deku as she says, "You granted someone's wish again, huh?" And Deku said, "No. Why did you think that?" And she would say, "Because I got a call from your teacher saying that basically thanking you for bringing his daughter back to life." And Deku would be like, "Oh, well, I mean, I guess I learn something every day, because I didn't know I can bring people basically snatch people from the hands of God. I hope I don't go to hell for that one." And she's like, "Yeah, I hope so too." And then she would be like, "And you better not basically be going to the world or she said, "You better not leave without me." And if you don't know what that means, she's basically saying don't die before me, but yeah, yeah. Now the 10 months of training would go as Deku would be training his body, because he doesn't know if he can grant his own wishes, and he hasn't really tried. Now, just because Deku can grant wishes doesn't mean that he would let himself go, but Deku does still work in his bodies, and this is where I'll be leaving it off here. The next part will be longer. It's just that I don't know if I should have Deku grant his own wishes. That is a question that you must answer for me. The next few parts would either be 15 or 20 minutes long, but I'll be doing this story till completion, until it is finished, or I just can't go on any longer. And when I'm finished with this story, the winning one that I basically pull from the lot will be the one I will do basically until completion. But thank you for watching my video, and yeah, goodbye. The like goal for this one will basically be 10 likes, but yeah, thank you for watching.